Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this podcast. Today we have with us Mr. Brian Lobo and Miss Selvin Rebello. Brian Lobo is currently with Edelweiss Financial Services, India's most diversified financial company. He is highly respected for his professionalism and he still remains deeply rooted in the Catholic faith. This is a rare combination in today's world. So, welcome Brian to this podcast. Can you please give us all an insight how you reached your goals and this pinnacle of success?
I think the goals are largely built on four key parameters: knowledge, aptitude, skills, and habits. If you don't have any of them, you're left out in the cold. Knowledge, by knowledge, I don't mean just a cursory knowledge, but delving deep into the subject, understanding the nuances of the subject, understanding the pitfalls, traversing minefields, and still coming out alive. And that can only happen if you have a firm grip on the subject matter at hand. Aptitude is absolutely important. Okay? Because, as I've often said, it is not the problem that is a problem. It is your attitude towards it that is a problem. So how do you look at it? Do you shy away from walking a minefield, or do you say, no, I'll walk it and still come alive? So you need a mindset which says, irrespective of the situation at hand, I'm going to plot and I'm going to succeed. Without skills, we are nowhere. Whether it be a chef, whether it be a writer, whether it be somebody in the professional work, or in HR, or in any profession that you take, skill is important. If you don't have the necessary skill where you can translate it, think on the feet when a problem arises. Don't shove and come with quick, ready-made answers to a situation which you have never ever faced. You will draw on knowledge, you will draw on aptitude, and then your skill will say, yes, this is the way I will traverse this. Very often you need a good gut feel and a sense of smell that will take you to the other side of the fence. And last is habits. Do I write down everything? Do I maintain a calendar which tells me what I've done where and where I went wrong and what I needed to correct? These are things that are absolutely important because you can't rely on memory. You need to get into the habit of penning down everything. And only after you've penned down, you can go back, revisit, and say, yes, it's a good habit. It's a good habit to be on time. It's a good habit to attend a meeting 2 minutes before. If you say that you're coming on a call at 12:30, ensure that you're already there at 12:27. These are good habits. Nobody takes kindly to you coming 1 minute later. So all this adds to the sum total of your personality.
Also, besides aptitude,
I think
what else do you think a youth needs to have in today's cutthroat competition?
I think most importantly is the fact is motivation.
That's right.
I can only think of what Zig Ziglar said. He said, motivation does not last long. So, we need to do it every day, like bathing. And I finally will leave you with a thought. If you are at point A and you want to get to point B, then learn what it takes to be at point B while you are still at point A. And lastly, which many people actually tell me in an interview, we are poor, we come from this background, we come from that background. I have only one answer to that. None of us are responsible for the heritage, but we are certainly accountable for the future. Which brings us to mindset, positivity. Irrespective of odds, I'll climb it.
Thank you so much. I'm sure our youth have gained a lot with your perspective on life and about what they need to do to get ahead from point A to point B. We now move on to Miss Selvin Ribello.
Speaking about Ms. Selvin Ribello, she is a senior human resource professional with 18 plus years of extensive multi-geographic experience spanning across industries like consulting, financial services, ITES and services, and with expertise on HR strategy and planning. She is a highly effective HR professional with strong business acumen and ability to translate business strategies, priorities, goals into people strategies. Thank you, Ms. Ribello, for coming with us on this podcast.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction.
Most welcome. Would you like to take us step by step on your journey on how you have acquired so many goals, sort of inspire our youth to look forward in the corporate world while stepping into the corporate world?
Sure, happy to do that. And yes, I would be happy to share my journey. And I would also like to connect my journey to the 5 pillars that I believe were important in my life when I started my career and when I grew in this career of mine. So 5 things that I have given a lot of importance to or followed as a pillar. One is the passion. What are you passionate about? What do you really crave to do? What is it that you have a fire in the belly for? Then there is purpose. What do you want to achieve in your life? What's your goal? Do you have clarity on your goal? And if not, would you like to seek that clarity for yourself? So there is your purpose and your passion. But with that, what is important is perseverance. Because you may have a purpose, you may have a passion for something, but if you will not persevere and put in the hard work in terms of the skills that you develop, in terms of the knowledge that you build, in terms of all the challenges that you face, then your purpose and passion becomes futile. So perseverance is very important. Now, since I'm talking to the youth, I think what is also very critical is patience. One of the things that I believe currently, which probably we lack, we want to see, it's a world of instant coffee. Everything has to be 2 minutes noodles. And I think that's something that we all need to be aware of. It takes a lot of patience while you're persevering to meet your purpose with passion. So keep that very, very close to your heart, that you have to be patient. It will not happen overnight. And when I share my journey, I can tell you how it took a lot of patience for me to reach where I am today. And then, of course, people. People play a very, very critical role in your life. Whether it is your family members who have supported you, given you education, whether it is your teachers who have shown you the right path, given you the value system, whether it is your friends who have stood by you in good times and in bad. And eventually, when you move into the corporate world, there will be mentors, there will be coaches, there will be people who will challenge you. So people will definitely play a very important role. So how maintaining relationships and building a network becomes important as you grow. in your career. So with that, let me share my own story. Because I know there are a few youth who would like to know that if I have chosen a career, can I, switch the ship? Can I move on to something else? I'm scared. What should I do? The pandemic is kind of really scared the hell out of us. We're losing focus. We are, less motivated, and that's where I come back to Brian in saying that it is your attitude towards what you're going through that will matter the most. At times you may feel that this ship is sinking, but that may not be the case. So have patience and persevere. So I started off my career. So I'm a BCom graduate to begin with, and I started off my career as a secretary, because what was most important at that juncture was to have financial security. And I think I was really good at what I was doing, and I happened to work with some good organization as a secretary, the Times of India Group, the L&T Infotech, and that's where I started to persevere. That's where I started giving the best of the skill set that I had in the moment. So what's very, very critical is, what do I have that I can give the best of in the now? Is
Sir,
what
can
I need to
interject here?
Sure.
I think what Selvin is saying is very true. Because 97% of us live in the comfort zone. Yeah. 3% live in the effective zone. And the difference between the two lives in the uncomfortable zone called growth.
Absolutely. And thank you, Brian, for bringing that in. So as I said, that when I started my career, I was a secretary, but I was a very good one because I used my skill set. And for me, no profession was small or big. It was about giving your 100%. And while I was a secretary, I happened to get opportunities to work in the human resource departments for some of the great organizations. For example, L&T Infotech, Arthur Andersen, we're one of the very highly acclaimed professional services firm, is when I got my first exposure to human resources. By then, I had already spent 5 years as an executive assistant. It is only then that I realized that, I had a passion for something. I could realize that there was a passion that I had for HR as a stream. And I also thought to myself that what would it be like that if I, rather than just being a secretary to the HR director, if I could one day be an HR director, what would that feel like? So there was a dream, there was a purpose that I identified for myself. Okay, what were the challenges? One is that I did not have a master's degree in human resources, and that would certainly be my roadblock. So I said I need to first overcome that one, because I would be competing with the likes who had very high degrees in this particular profession. So I identified what my roadblock was. I looked at what do I need to do in order to overcome that barrier. And that is when, while I was a mother of a 3-year-old child and having a full-time job, I pursued a part-time MBA with NMIMS, attending college in the evenings for 3 years. So a full-time mother, a full-time job professional, and I was also studying for 3 continuous years to achieve my degree. And that is where I say perseverance is important. If you have a dream, if you have your passion, then you will have to put in all the efforts. And when I finished my degree, and I did successfully in spite of all the challenges, I immediately got an opportunity with PricewaterhouseCoopers as their manager HR. And post that, I never looked back. Life has only been, while there are challenges, it has always been rewarding. One thing along the path that helped me was the people. There were people who supported me while I was working. There were people who supported me. Like my parents took care of my child when I was pursuing my dreams. There were friends who came to my rescue. There were friends who supported me, helped me, encouraged me. There were mentors who saw the passion and said, okay, we are here to help you. So please remember, people will play a very, very important role. So stay connected, build relationships, build networks. I have seen people encouraging me throughout my career, and that includes Brian. Brian has been extremely encouraging and supportive of what I have achieved and what I am doing today. And yes, today I am an HR director. The journey was 13 years from my dream. So there was passion, perseverance, there was patience, and there were a lot of people who supported me. One thing I did not stop doing is skill building, because just reaching a particular level is not good enough. But what I need to do to be there is what is important and which is what matters. And that's what I kept doing and even do today, because I love creating new dreams. I love learning. I believe that one has to keep building a skill set. Doesn't matter where you have reached in life, because you still have a lot more to grow. So that's my take. And any questions that you have for me?
Yes, thank you very much for this insight. I'm sure our youth will be most happy to know that besides patience, they need perseverance. And you have gone a long way to tell them what they need to do. During this pandemic, most careers are, besides careers, industries too have, fallen. And those who were in the tourism industry, or those who took aviation as one of their career options, today they are just stuck in a rut and they do not know what to do.
Sure.
So can they take up something? What should they go in for?
So that is where, Louisa, I would say that skill building matters. That you need not necessarily focus only on the skills that you have currently for your job. There has to be a plan B in place always. Because plan A may not always work, because we can't control external circumstances, and pandemic is a very good example of how adversity can hit us. And that is where we always need to have a plan B in place. And when I say plan B, it is purely about alternate skills, alternate knowledge that I have built. What can really hold me in good stead? Can I really bank on that? So throughout your life, continuously build something up. And if you're asking me at the current situation where tourism is suffering, and it will for some time, we all know that, e-commerce is picking up. So it's not necessary that all industries are not doing well. There are pharmaceutical industries which are doing very well. The
Yes.
medical industry is doing extremely well. So yes, if you have the right skill set, you can jump onto the ship. Or it's never too late to build one. I know of a lot of students who are spending time in taking courses on Udemy or Coursera, LinkedIn. So use this time to build up your skills, because you will probably have a setback for the time being, but you can come back with a lot more rigor. So yes, use any other skill set that you have.
One message we can take out from here is to tell all our youth that instead of being on the phone, instead of wasting time, take up a course, try to
Absolutely.
enhance yourself, try to upgrade yourself, and sort of tell yourself that yes, you can persevere, but it takes some time. You need to have some skill in order to fight in this world.
And no skill goes waste is
Exactly.
what's very important for all of us to remember. And it could be as simple as some people have taken up to baking. I mean, I think that's a lot in demand. Home cooked food is so much in demand.
Yes.
So
But it also depends on your mindset, okay?
True.
And how can you dovetail your mindset in order to suit a given need?
So Brian and Selvin, our youth have come in with a lot of questions for you. So we would like you to address these questions and give them an insight into what they can do. So
Okay, so our youth has asked a question. I would like to become an entrepreneur. What advice would you give me? Are there any points that I should pay particular attention to? Right?
This entrepreneurship is a nice big word. The point of the matter is you need to be practical. To begin with, do you have the necessary wherewithal to become an entrepreneur? Do you have a unique selling proposition that you think will make it in the marketplace? Have you done your research on the products that are there, and what exactly do you have extra that will give you the added weightage? And lastly, do you have the money and the wherewithal to back that idea? It all depends on any of these that will take you to another level.
Another question that a youth has asked is, I would like to find out which field I have an aptitude for. Are there any reliable aptitude tests that I can undertake, and where can I do it?
See, I think the current scenario throws the job wide open to a youth, provided he is prepared to put in the elbow grease, work extremely hard, and remember the old Scottish proverb that said, hard work never ever killed a man.
So, friends, I'm sure that you have gained a lot through this podcast. Besides the 3 P's of patience, passion, and perseverance, what we need most is motivation. And like Brian said, a fire in your belly to move ahead. So, during this pandemic situation that we are in, please do not lose hope. Do something like Miss Selvin has told us. Achieve your goal by doing a course. Do not just stick to one thing. Have 2 plans. If plan A does not work out, move on to plan B.